Hi everyone, welcome again to this channel. For today, we're going to learn another chess endgame. And this is how to checkmate with Rook. So, what are the rules to checkmate our opponent king? First, we have to limit the king's move by cutting a file and a rank within the rook and king. And eventually be on the 8th rank or 1st rank if we chose to cut it by rank. Or the opponent king eventually be on the A file or H file if it chose to cut it by file. Second, both kings must be always one file or one rank away from each other. Third, after obtaining the second rule on the board, we must ensure the white king is directly facing the black king and white has the next move. This should be done by force. Lastly, Rook will check the black king on the same file the king is currently positioned. If we have chosen the file, otherwise, the black king must be checked by the rook on the same rank the king is currently positioned. Okay, now to demonstrate, let's look on the position. We have our opponent king on king e5 and our white pieces on king e1 and rook h1. So for this position, let's try to apply the first rule. So let's say we're going to cut the king's move by using a rank. So we could play rook h4. So now the rook already guards the 4th rank. Now black plays king d5. Again, is still on the center of the board. Next, we must now apply the second rule. Both kings must be always one file or one rank away from each other. So our king is basically 3 ranks away. So these are the 3 ranks. So let's get closer to the black king. King e2, king e5, king e3. And now, the second rule has been applied already. Both kings must be always one file or one rank away from each other. However, our third rule indicates that white must have the next move. So, we should consider that. Now, black plays king d5, rook g4. So this rook g4 is gaining some tempo. Just in case black plays king e5, now we apply already the third rule. So the white king is directly facing the black king and white has the next move. So if the third rule already been applied, we must now go to the last rule. Rook will check the black king on the same file the king is currently positioned. But in this case, we have chosen the rank, so we must check the black king on the same rank. And that is playing rook g5 check. Now, black will now be played king f6, rook a5, of course, getting away with the black king. And now the rook already guards the 5th rank. So we still have 2 more ranks left. King e6, king e4. Again, both kings must be always one file or rank. However, it is black's to play here. So the third rule does not still apply. King d6. Again, we'll just gain another tempo by playing rook h5. And now, if black plays king e6, we'll just be playing rook h6. And again, it is forced. So after king c6, king d4, king b5, king b6, king c4, king a6, king b4. Now, black does not have a choice but to play king b6. And again, we met the third rule. White king is directly facing the black king, and white has the next move. So, what's our next move for here? Of course, again, we have to check the black king on the same rank. Rook h6 check, king c7. Now the rook already guards the 6th rank. King c5, king d7. Now, rook a6, again gaining tempo. King e7, king d5, king f7, king e5, king g7, king f5, king h7, king g5. Now, black again does not have an option. So, if he goes back to king g7, again, the third rule already applies, which the white king is directly facing the black king, and white has the next move. So, rook a7 check, king f8, and after this move, the rook already guards the 7th rank. Now, we must again apply the third rule by playing king f6, king e8, again, gaining tempo by playing rook h7. Now, if black plays king f8, rook h8 is mate. So, instead, we're gonna play king e6, king c8, king d6, king b8, king c6, king a8, and after king b6, black does not have any options here but to play king b8. And again, the third rule already applies. Both kings are facing each other, and white is to play. So, the last move will be rook h8 mate. So, there you go guys, another simple way on how to checkmate the black king when we have only one rook as a minor piece together with the king. Thank you.